Hey Curlies and Curly supporters, I'm Heather Love and this is That Curly Life. Today I have a super huge treat for you. There is a curly woman that I have been hearing about ever since I moved to Chicago. That's like almost 5 years ago. Her name is Callie and she owns Curls and Company. And guess what? I got to interview her! Callie has been doing the Devacut for 18 years and she has owned her own salon for 8. So here's Callie and how she learned to live that curly life.
My 3 obsessions in life are music, writing, and curly hair. And the nice thing is, if you're talking to curly people, you don't have to explain that. All your spare time that you're not spending on your other things, when am I gonna find the perfect product? When am I gonna have hair that I can consistently know is gonna look good? And when I went to hair school, I remember asking my teacher, I was in an African-American neighborhood, so you'd think there would be some knowledge of like how to do curly hair, naturally curly hair. Unfortunately, it's all straight and relaxed, straight and relaxed. We would have people come in for, your like on the floor day, and we did so many relaxers. And I asked my teacher, I said, when are we gonna get to curly hair? And she's like, hair is hair is hair. It doesn't matter if it's curly or straight, you cut it all the same. And I thought, well, that's why we all have jacked up hair, because there was a lot of girls in my class who had curly hair. I just thought, God, can I learn something more, about how to cut curly hair? And there really was very little out there. And then I thought I'd become a colorist, because what can you do with curly hair? And I figured out I'll just cut it kind of blunt and, have really cool color. Then luckily, when I was working at this one salon, the rep came in and said, have you heard about Devacut? And I had actually, because one of my clients was like, when you do the dry cut at the end on me, that's like what these diva people are doing. And I had figured out on my own hair, I would cut it in the early days, I would cut it wet and do very basic cut, barely cut anything off. Then once it was dry and curly, if something looked awkward, I'd chip into it and make sure I had a nice shape. And that's how I first cut curly. And when I read this Curly Girl book, I was like, oh, God, I wonder if I could train there or something. So I called, and at the time they had very little. They had training, but it was only a couple times a year. And it was just so nice to meet people who were doing the same thing I was doing, and that knew what they were doing, because I felt like a big fake. I was like, I'm dry cutting, and is this terrible? I mean, this is not following rules. There was no book that said to do this. And that's why I wanted to have my own salon, which was your question, 10 minutes ago? Because trying to explain all that I just explained on this video to people who don't have curly hair, they get like the glazed look. It's not a cut and dry thing. It's not like, if you are curly and you have struggled, it's like, it shouldn't be this hard to get a haircut. I mean, that's just the bottom line. And yet people really have this weird view, like they don't wanna master it. It's like, it's the coolest hair to cut, because you're never bored. That's why I love having my own business. I mean, as much as it can be a headache, but it's like, it's also so great to get hugs, because there are so many times, we're the end of the road for a lot of people. We have people who come in from out of town, out of the country. I mean, there's not a lot of people in like Norway and Sweden who do super tight curls, okay? England, oh, for shame. I mean, I'll leave you with my favorite story. There was a little girl and she came in for a curly cut. And she was very excited about her curly hair. And her mom was like, immediately after we had talked about her curly haircut, said, well, when you get older, when you're 11 or 12 or something, we'll get you a relaxer. And then, we'll get you a perm and it'll be nice and straight. And I was like, oh no, here she is, she's curl positive and happy to have curly hair. And you're like telling her it's not good. So I didn't say anything. What I did is I went and grabbed a bunch of magazines, and luckily we're on the cover now. So I sat the mom down, and the little girl was sitting there under the dryer, and I said, look at this. You're on this cover, and this cover, and this cover, and this cover. Aren't you beautiful? And she was like, yeah. But her mom needed to see it too. See, it's okay. Because I guess, we're all trained, like, the only look is smooth and silky, and that's it. And if you look historically throughout time, curls were always king. I don't know where we went so wrong, but we're back. Not also super abusing the curls. Like, try to wear your hair nice naturally. there's the key. Yeah, you can help it with product. You know, watch out with those protective styles. Sometimes they're more straightening than they are curly loving. So, you know, be aware of that too. But if you have somebody who truly loves curls and you look at their curls, you'll be in good hands. So, because they're going to try the best for you. I mean, that's what Curls and Company tries to do. So, that's all I got. I know I've talked your ear off, but I'm passionate. What can I say?
Callie, you were not talking my ear off. You were amazing. I wish Callie would tell me more, but you're in luck. She is telling us more, and I've cut up her interview into multiple sections, and we're gonna call them Callie's tips. Have you been to Callie? Have you seen Callie up off of Howard? Tell me, I wanna know. I know she's amazing. I'm sure you've been to her salon. Tell me all about your experience with Callie. I would love to hear that in your comments below. You can contact Callie and book an appointment right away at calliescurls.com. I'll also have that all in the show notes. And I've listed her top favorite products that she uses in her salon. And surprise, surprise, Deva Curl's #1. She also uses some Quidad, and she also uses Innersense. She also has a YouTube channel where she teaches you how to do your hair and how to put product into your hair. If you don't want to miss any of Callie's tips coming up, subscribe. You'll be the first to know when I post a video about a curly in the Chicago area. If you want to be interviewed on That Curly Life, you can contact me, one, by emailing me, heatherallisonlove@gmail.com, through my website, heatherallisonlove.com, or on Instagram, @heatherallisonlove. I'm always posting pictures of the curlies that I interview and little videos, so you can stay connected to me and message me there. And if this is your first That Curly Life video, oh, I have a surprise for you. There's a lot more that you can see. Go under interviews and specials to see some ridiculous stuff that we've been doing. I love you, curlies and curly supporters. So keep living that curly life and encouraging each other.